Okay, so this is how we're treating police officers now, apparently. I see a lot of I mean we've been seeing it for the past several years now, or at least for the past year, especially since the George Floyd incident, but the reports that we see in the media are that white police officers are the problem, right? It's the white cops that are inherently racist and systemically corrupt. Or the law enforcement profession as a whole is corrupt and racist, and that's the reason we're losing so many black people, is because the cops show up, the white cops show up, and whenever a black person is involved in an incident, the cops shoot first and ask questions later, right? Well, that's not really what we're seeing as far as video evidence goes. So let's check out this incident right here. There was an incident in Atlanta, in Fulton County, in Atlanta. I believe it was maybe a week ago that this took place. Let's just watch this video real quick.
County, an argument turns violent in Atlanta. Police telling us they found 2 people shot last night. New video this morning showing the scene from Piedmont Road northeast. Police say the shooting happened after 8 p.m. after a man fired several shots, injuring both victims. They were rushed to Grady Hospital in stable condition. Police say the gunman is in custody.
Okay, so when you have a maybe we should watch this trailer. No, we're not going to do that. So when you have an incident like that, like the one you just saw being reported on, what do you expect the police to do? There's a double shooting, okay? A double shooting, doesn't matter what neighborhood it's in. If it's a predominantly black neighborhood, if it's a white neighborhood, a Hispanic neighborhood, if someone gets shot or multiple people get shot, the cops are going to respond. And it doesn't matter the race of the police officer. If the police officers are white, black, Hispanic, whatever, those police officers are going to respond to the scene. Now, when we're talking about this incident that happened in Atlanta, check out what happens to the white police officer who shows up. So this is obviously someone's cell phone footage recording just after the incident when police are on scene and paramedics are on scene. So there's the white cop right there. Now, mind you, people are putting their hands on this guy. They're trying to get it. They don't want him there, right? It's a black community. It's a black neighborhood. They don't want him there, and they're literally pushing him out of the area, trying to push him out of the area.
Come on, what? Hey, get off the block! Go!
He want to know what he looks like. He looks like you.
It ain't him. Let him through.
So you got people screaming. He's trying to figure out who the suspect is, right? And you got people screaming, "He looked like you. He looked like you." So I'm guessing the shooter might have been a white person.
Let's go!
No white cops. Okay, these are all the things people are screaming at this guy. This guy shows up to help, right? This guy is responding to a shooting in what I guess appears to be a predominantly black neighborhood. He's responding to figure out what's going on. He's responding to investigate and to stop any possible threats. And this is the reception that he gets.
Get your white face out of here.
Get your white face out of here.
Yo, Con, just shut this shit up. Let him get in your car. They not letting him. They don't want.
He's literally sitting there trying to reason with them, saying, I'm here to help. I want to find out who it is. I want to catch the bad guy. I want to catch the shooter. And these guys just aren't, they're not having it. They don't want him there.
No, stand right here, you don't. Get your white face out of here. You gonna do something tonight. Get your ass out of here. You gonna do something tonight. Or we gonna knock you the fuck out. Hey, get the fuck out of here. See, Smith? Get back, bro. Yo, Joe Crown, bro. You just shut this shit up. Fuck alone. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. That shit make him happy.
Leave him alone.
Roll the window, man.
Okay, so you finally got one person, this woman here, who is, she's the voice of reason, apparently, at this point, telling everybody to leave the white police officer alone. and you know, to stop pushing up on him. Here's the thing. This officer is showing a tremendous amount of restraint, because in the beginning of the video, you saw people putting their hands on him, pushing him out of the way. That's called battery on a police officer. It's a felony in some states. I believe it's a misdemeanor in others. I know it is in Idaho now. But battery on a police officer. He could have taken, what I saw, 3 or 4 people to jail there.
This nigga, bro.
It ain't safe for no white people to be out here right now.
It ain't safe for no white people to be out here. Okay, so tell me why the white people are racist. Tell me why that's the issue. Why is it that the white people are being labeled as racist, especially white cops? This guy shows up in a black neighborhood to help the black citizens of this community, and he's being pushed out, he's being harassed, he's being yelled at and screamed at. And then they're saying things like what these people are saying, and somehow it's the white cops and other white people who are racist.
Go get you some donuts and get the fuck out.
Go get you some donuts and get the F out of here. So intelligent.
Look, leave this man alone. I just said leave this man alone.
Who drove
He needs
this
some help
car?
right now.
Now, you may not like the police. Okay, whatever. You don't have to like the police. I'm not saying that you have to like the police, and I'm not saying you can't criticize the police. But when the police show up to investigate a crime, stay the hell out of the way. It's behavior like this that, I mean, if you want people to believe that you're a good person, right? That you're a productive member of society, then act like it. Stay the hell out of the cops' way. I don't care if you don't like the cops. You don't have to like the cops, but you do need to stay the hell out of their way and let them do their jobs, especially when it comes to a double homicide. I'm not sure if the 2 people died. There's not a whole lot of information just yet about this particular incident. I don't know if the 2 people who got shot were killed, but we're definitely dealing with an attempted murder, a double attempted murder. You need to stay out of... Nobody is impressed with your ability to yell and scream profanities at the police officers, okay? You're just simply showcasing your own ignorance when you do that. Now, you guys remember this incident from Six Flags. I don't remember the exact location of the Six Flags, but I did a video on this not too long ago. So you have a large group of black people, and a few of them stole turkey legs from this vendor here. Stole turkey legs and started to hand them out to their friends, and they start laughing about it and having a good time. And then security shows up to stop what's going on. Yeah, so you see this girl in the red hat, or I can't tell if it's a girl or a guy, but I think it's a girl. She starts swinging at these security guards, and I'm assuming that this is maybe another employee trying to get her turkey legs back or something. And then this girl starts swinging at the security guards. So again, this has nothing to do with white people being racist, right? White people being racist doesn't mean you have to go out and steal turkey legs and act like a complete idiot. White people being racist doesn't result in you going out and yelling at the police who show up to investigate a double attempted murder.
They wildin'. He straight chased her ass, Otter.
So as you see the camera pan around there, you can see that most of the people in the crowd are black. And just completely acting like idiots. Cheering, yelling, screaming. Nobody's saying, hey, give the turkey legs back. That's wrong. That's theft. You can't do that. You know, come on, grow up, act like an adult. They're all standing there with their cell phones, recording the incident, you know, hoping that their videos are going to go viral. And like I said, some of the people are cheering for this person.
Where yours at?
So now you have police start to show up.
It's just a turkey leg, man.
It's just a turkey leg, man. We can't be held accountable. We can commit crimes all we want and not be held accountable, because if you try to hold us accountable, that means you're racist, because the rules don't apply to us, because We believe that we are oppressed. Okay? This is just complete and utter nonsense to laugh and have a good time at the expense of someone else, right? You steal someone else's property, and then when they try to chase you down and get the property back and to prevent you from committing more theft, you laugh and joke about it, and then when you're caught, you scream racism and you scream unfairness and oppression and all this other nonsense, when in reality you're just being held to the same standard and the same rules, being held accountable just like anybody else who would commit the same type of crime. Okay, but there's this trend out there that it's okay for you to behave this way if you're a minority. If you were in the minority, the rules do not apply to you. You can yell and scream and get in the cop's face all you want, and apparently you can even put your hands on him and push him out of a crime scene if you don't want him in your neighborhood. And there is absolutely no recourse for that white officer that you saw in that video. Now, obviously there is. He could have decided to take any one of those people to jail that put their hands on him, because it is in fact a crime to put your hands on a police officer. It's a crime to put your hands on anybody else who does not want you to. It's called battery in most states. And battery on a police officer, I believe, is still a felony in some states. I'm not sure about Georgia. I'm not sure if it's a felony or a misdemeanor there. But you can see there plain as day on the video that there were a number of people putting their hands on him, trying to push him out of the crime scene. How is this acceptable behavior? And if you're going to behave this way, and obviously there's no repercussions for you. None of them went to jail. Okay? But how can you behave that way and then turn around and claim that white people are the problem? Okay? Now, I'm not saying that this type of behavior is exclusive to the black community, because obviously it's not. I spent 12 years in law enforcement, and the majority of the people that I dealt with and took to jail were white. And I've seen plenty of white people act a fool, just like these people were doing, and act completely in an antisocial manner and break the rules brazenly and believe that they're not to be held accountable for those actions. But to put on a display like that, and then later to go home and get on social media, take to social media or take to the streets and claim that you are oppressed. If you're oppressed, you would not get away with behavior like that. If your government was oppressing you, you would not get away with behavior like that. So you have no idea what oppression is. White cops and cops in general are not the problem. Criminal behavior is the problem. And what's even more of a problem now is the fact that criminals are being labeled as victims and being treated as victims, and they're not being held accountable for their crimes, which is simply enabling them and others and emboldening them to commit more crimes, because there's no consequences anymore. There's no repercussions for things like this. Again, this officer showed tremendous restraint, but I don't know that I necessarily agree with it. I think he probably made a strategic move, because had he attempted to arrest one of them, it could have turned very violent in a hurry. And I know that these days police officers are simply, or police agencies are simply trying to avoid mass chaos and civil unrest, because that's what happens in a situation like this. If you try and hold a person of color responsible for their actions, and especially for their criminal actions, then riots and looting break out. Protests, sure, but the riots and the looting also break out. And then you have billions of dollars worth of damages to residents and businesses and vehicles, all because a police officer attempted to hold someone accountable for their criminality. And we just can't have that these days, clearly. And it's just, it's backwards. Everything is backwards, and we have to get away from this. This is not a good trend. This is not taking us in a good direction as a country. So, the idea, I mean, if you look at the people in Cuba and what they're faced with, okay, and the people in North Korea and what they're faced with, people in the Middle East, right, and what they're faced with, they legit have corrupt governments and corrupt law enforcement agencies. We don't have that here. Just because you get taken to jail on a regular basis for committing crimes doesn't mean you're oppressed. and it doesn't mean you're the victim of systemic racism. It means you're a moron who likes to commit crimes and believe that you can get away with it, either because you feel you feel entitled somehow because of the color of your skin or your socioeconomic status, or you just feel like all cops are bastards because you have an adversarial relationship with them because of the criminal lifestyle that you've chosen to indulge in. So that's all for today. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you next time. Okay, everybody, as usual, don't forget to order my book, Never Off Duty, if you want an inside look at what it's like to be a police officer in the year 2021 and after, and the societal pressures that they face, the stress, the trauma, the inside look at how nuanced police work as a profession is. Order my book, Never Off Duty. The link for the pre-order site will be in the description. I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much.